pour le Dakar.
Harry Vatanen may be a four-time Dakar winner, but those successes will have reinforced his belief that life is full of surprises. Some good, and some, like today's, not so good. His race Tuareg struggled with the one thing there's not likely to be much of on the Dakar: water. Concerns that the engine might have been destroyed were eventually eased a little as Vatanen managed to struggle out of the stage without the help of any team trucks, as the truck class wasn't running on this narrow test. But there was no doubting it was a disaster.
There's not much to explain, just got water into engine and that's it. Really, this is a catastrophe.
Remains to be seen what the long-term damage might be, but the normally sanguine Vatanen was infuriated by his mistake. Carlos Sainz was the winner of the opening stage in 2006, but this year it took El Matador until stage 2 to emerge on top. Looking much more like a World Rally Championship stage, it perhaps played to his experience a little better than yesterday's sand. Four times Portuguese Baja champion Carlos Sousa just couldn't match the Spaniard's pace. Figuring it was better to reach Morocco with the car in perfect shape, he chose caution this morning, still setting the 9th fastest time, and he heads the field to Africa. Second on yesterday's stage to the flying Sousa, Geniel de Villiers turned the tables today, clawing back some time on his Portuguese rival. The South African was only 6th fastest through the stage though, meaning he slips a place to 3rd overall, trailing Sousa and Sainz. Last year's winner Luc Alphonse struggled home in 14th place on yesterday's stage after a puncture. The plan was to push the pace a little this morning and move up into the top 10, but nerves were clearly a touch frayed on board. Where should we be going, says Luke. Picard, his co-driver, says, that's right, we're on the right track. Alphonse clearly not convinced. There's no public, he says. Where are the spectators? It's not right. Eventually, Picard loses his temper and tells him just to get on with it. Nani Roma started the day in 7th place, 4 minutes 52 off the lead, but he closed the gap on stage 2, finishing with the same time as teammate Alphonse. They were joint second quickest, just 29 seconds slower than Carlos Sainz, despite being held up in the dust behind VW's Mark Miller. Stefan Bader-Hansel finished yesterday's stage 8th, but better speed today, yielding 4th place, has moved him up 3 places to 5th in the overall classification. 6th on yesterday's test, despite stopping to help stranded teammate Jutta Kleinschmidt, Gillen Schischerit again went well. The top BMW driver on the stage, he heads to the boat in Malaga in astonishing 6th overall. But teammate Nasser Al-Attiyah didn't have so much luck. Slight damage caused by a water splash did nothing, but changing a punctured tyre dropped him to 15th. He remains in 9th place overall. After losing nearly half an hour yesterday when her engine mysteriously died, former winner Jutta Kleinschmidt was very worried, but it seems whatever gremlins afflicted her BMW had been exorcised. She caught and passed her hobbled teammate Nataya on the stage, completing the test without problem. But she'll be disappointed to be heading to Africa as low as 35th, consoling herself perhaps with the thought that the real rally has yet to begin. Local Baja racer Miguel Barbosa has entered the Dakar with a Mitsubishi Straker prototype pickup used by Carlos Sousa to win the Portuguese Baja Championship. The speed's never been in question. He raced through today's stage 7th fastest. He'll be 5th overall for day 3, but can this sprint design machine make it all the way to Dakar? Christian Levay is better known as a motorcycle racer, perhaps with multiple wins on a prestigious Bol d'Or to his credit, but he's the reigning T2 world champion, and he pushed his Team de Sud Nissan into a great 10th place on today's stage. The French team celebrating its 25th Dakar start. Touring car ace Ivan Muller showed today as top buggy in 11th position that he's a fast learner, and a man who's raced jet skis around Corsica is certainly not going to be afraid of the challenges that Africa throws up. Technical stages, especially the short ones, are to be survived as far as Jean-Louis Schless is concerned. His buggy's ideally suited to fast-flowing tests. The Monaco-based double Dakar winner will be looking forward to Africa with a degree of relief, but no problems and not too much time lost. It's been an adventurous Dakar for Baja and NASCAR racer Robbie Gordon. Yesterday the bellowing Hummer got stuck for around 5 minutes in deep mud. Today he rolled it. Looking calm and waving to the crowds 1 minute, and looking at the sky the next. Merely cosmetic was Gordon's assessment of the damage. The beast will go behind the wall today and be ready for Morocco by the time it rolls off the boat. But his mechanics might look a little second-hand. Spaniard Jose Luis Monterde is on his 7th Dakar with 2 top 10 finishes to his name. This roll on today's stage looked dramatic, but apparently didn't do much lasting damage. The Dutchman Tony van Deen wasn't so lucky. He lost around 10 minutes. Buggy ace Stefan Onraad's got a new co-driver, fellow Belgian Olympic swimmer Brigitte Beccu. While Onraad's something of a Dakar veteran on his 10th start, 4-time European breaststroke champion Beccu has never navigated before, never mind being to Africa. They'll come off the boat tomorrow morning in 22nd as the rally bids adieu to Portugal. Volkswagen again fastest today then with Carlos Sainz, but the Mitsubishi's much closer to the front, losing less than 30 seconds to the flying Spaniard. Sousa still leads, but the VWs in 2nd and 3rd change positions as Sainz moves to 2nd. Of course, if we do well, we start in front tomorrow. If we don't do well, we start behind. I think there's a penalty either way. In the end, I don't think it makes much difference, says Sainz. My co-driver's got a lot of experience, and tomorrow's stage isn't too long. It's not much over 200 kilometers. Then the following day, that will be a longer one. In any case, you can't choose your tactics just about starting order, because if you pick up even a simple puncture, everything can change. El Matador is certainly in fighting form after stage 2. Very disappointed yesterday, said Luke Alphand. All the competitors pushed very hard very early. It wasn't a great special for us. We had a puncture and some other problems. Obviously, it was very stressful to open the road, and we just had a bad day. Today, really, we wanted to get back into the fastest group. I didn't want to go to Morocco behind a whole load of cars and have difficulty overtaking them. What was the problem with Mark Miller is the question. Nothing, no problem. 5 kilometers before the end, says Nani Roma. I was in his dust, but in these situations it's not easy to pass, so I had to stop because the road is so narrow. So we had to stop for a little, but it doesn't matter. I know Mark well, there's no problem between us.
Y bueno, no pasa nada. De hecho, aquí acaba de empezar. Yo conozco bien a Marc, o sea que no pasa nada.
Much better, much more pleasing, says Stefan Peter Hansel, much more enjoyable than yesterday. We didn't make any big mistakes, we didn't push too hard, because on this special there are no service trucks, and that means if you have a big problem, then you wouldn't even catch the ferry to Africa, and that's why we're here, so we were careful. So finally, as they roll off the overnight belt, boat competitors will be assailed by the sights, sounds and smells of Africa for the first time. Stage 3 will give them 650 kilometers to enjoy them, 250 of tough sand dunes in the special.